Today we're going to work on how to embroider on toilet paper. So first we're going to start with stabilizer and hooping the toilet paper. I use a heavy stabilizer, whether it be a medium cutaway or a heavy cutaway, because it helps to give some stability to the toilet paper itself. So you can hoop the stabilizer itself, make sure it's nice and tight. Then you get yourself a roll of toilet paper. It doesn't have to be expensive toilet paper. It can be cheap toilet paper. In fact, sometimes the cheaper the better. What you're going to do is, this is a Aldi brand toilet paper that only costs $1 for 4 rolls. So where the perforations are here, we're going to fold over at about 3 squares. And I'm going to fold that over twice so that I have actually 3 layers of toilet paper. Leave it connected to the roll itself and line it all up here nicely and put it in the center approximately where your perforations are. Here's your perforations right here. So you want to put it approximately in the center. And then we're going to use pins and pin this in the hoop. Make sure you get through all 3 layers. One thing that's nice about toilet paper, it's very forgiving, so that if you mess up, you kind of just tear this off and start over again. You don't really need a lot of pins on it, just enough to hold it in place so that it doesn't move whenever you're stitching it. And that's how you hoop toilet paper. You're going to leave this connected. It's better if it's on this side of your hoop, because that's the edge of where your machine is, and you can put this roll of toilet paper on the edge of the machine or behind the machine. We're going to leave it together, and I'm going to move this over to the machine right now, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, you're going to take your hoop and slide it into your machine. Leaving the roll of toilet paper here still attached, and roll off a foot or so, putting the toilet paper over here to the left. If you roll off a foot, then it gives you some leeway for whenever your hoop is moving back and forth, that you won't rip the toilet paper. And you want to pick your design, and you send that to your machine already. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use the setting where it says trace design, so that I can make sure, because all toilet paper is a different width this way, and the squares where the perforations are actually different width this way too. So you want to make sure that where your design is going to stitch, it falls within the toilet paper itself, and it's not going to hit any of your pins. And then we can send the design to stitch. Okay, I've got the next color threaded, ready to go for the next spot of the design. Okay, here's the next color. Alright, the next color's on. Now, I've chosen to do the mouth the same color as I'm going to do the hearts. Because of it being a single needle machine, it just gives me an opportunity not to have to change the thread. So, stitch the mouth. I have to cut these tails here before they get caught up in the machine. It's personal preference. Now where I won't have to have a thread change here, I'm just going to continue to Okay, last color's in. I'm going to cut this jump stitch here. If you notice, whenever I was cutting the jump stitch from here to here, I pinched a little bit of the toilet paper here, and you can pretty much just cut this off. Nobody's going to see that at all. That's what I'm saying, that toilet paper is very forgiving. Then we're going to stitch the last Okay, now to finish, I've already clipped all of the jump stitches on this so that it would save some time, and I'm going to show you how to finish the piece. So you're going to unhoop it. And remove the pins. And what I do is I leave the stabilizer behind it and trim this just shy of what the toilet paper itself is. And then you take your roll and whatever you had unrolled, roll it back up. When you get to the part here, just tuck the layers in the stabilizer underneath of it. And then in the back, I'll just pin this right here. Hold it shut. And there it is, all done. Now what you can do to finish it, you can take a piece of this iridescent stuff, or you can also stick a colored tissue paper and just stick it in the hole there like that. You can get one of these food storage bags. And a little piece of ribbon. Now you have a finished product. Okay, here's some hints and tips for you for when you're doing the toilet paper. Toilet paper is never really ever taken out of the bag once you put it in the bag. But for your purposes, most toilet paper is about 4 inches wide. So any 4x4 design will probably fit. Be careful though, because sometimes they're a little close. Like this one here is a little bit close to the edges, but like I said before, some toilet papers are a little bit wider, so it fits better. When I digitize toilet paper designs, I actually make them so that they're not as dense. You'll see there's a couple tiny little spots here where you can see through the toilet paper. When the design is too dense, it stitches too much in one area and it tends to rip the toilet paper. So you want to be careful the designs you're using aren't too dense. And usually my designs for toilet paper are made to 3.5 inches so that they fit best on any size toilet paper. Also, another thing that you can do, if you are doing this for yourself or for a family member, what you could do for them, like I have my daughter-in-law loves having embroidered toilet paper. So what I started doing is taking this part here and a few extra squares and just tear it there. Now, the idea of having the toilet paper embroidered on the roll is a novelty thing. But for some people that leave it in the bags and just put it in there for decoration, it doesn't really matter. Most people won't ever open them up and or find out that it's not attached. So for my daughter-in-law, who likes to have the different holidays, to store these toilet paper rolls, you have 12 of them, it takes up so much cupboard space. Whereas if you had this, it would fit into a drawer very nicely and wouldn't take up very much room. And then what she can do for each holiday is she takes her toilet paper roll and she just wraps this around, putting this single piece inside, and pins it the same as before. Puts it back into the bag with the filler in there, and nobody knows any different. But for her and for me or anybody else that wants to do this for a decoration and wants all the holidays, this stores so much nicer. Also, you can do applique the same as you do this. Whereas around the little pile of poop here, is the design is applique. The stitching is the same as an applique, where you have your placement stitch, you have your tack down stitch, and then you have a satin stitch around. It works the same way as doing it on regular applique, except whenever you're cutting around the fabric, you want to be careful that you don't cut the toilet paper itself. And that's it. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have lots of fun with embroidering on toilet paper.